Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio, Friday, May 28th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, Skee Prophet, and Dutch Boy Fresh. We are here for the Friday NBA playoff breakdown. It was a breakdown of other proportions for most of us on the crew last night. It was a little bit of a rougher night on the betting board for most of us last night. Got slapped around a little bit, but hey, we're back today and ready to make amends for it on this Friday slate. Before we get to tonight's 3 games on the card, we'll talk a little about last night, as we always do. We recap the night before and stick a fork in the Miami Heat. They're done. They can hit the South Beach all they want and have some little recreational time. Check out the chicks on the beach, whatever the case may be. Go to the clubs, whatever, because their basketball days in South Beach are numbered. This series is over as far as I'm concerned. The Miami Heat, in a spot where you would have expected them to come out storming in the first quarter and first half, just can't hit the broadside of a barn with any of their shots in the first quarter or first half of that game last night. To see this team go from like one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the NBA last year to this year, where you're not getting that from Tyler Hero. Duncan Robinson was miserable last night shooting the ball. Kendrick Nunn hasn't given you much. It's just been a dreadful time of it. Butler and Bam have had tough series overall. It's just been a mess for the Heat, and that was the difference again. The offense shut down. Milwaukee pulls away early, and they got a huge lead early, and you knew that game was done, and this series is probably done as well. Miami trailing 3-0 now, looking at a sweep. And with these NBA teams, especially in the first round, when they are out of it, there's no coming back. I think this series probably ends Game 4 over the weekend, if you ask me. The other 2 games last night that give the LA Lakers credit, great second half yet again from them after a little bit of a tougher start. Actually, they did have a small lead at halftime, but the second half was much better. The defense clamped down. LeBron was good in the second half. You saw Kuzma, KCP step up a little bit. AD was his good usual self. He's had a good series so far. And the Lakers have returned to that good Laker defense that we thought they could have when everybody is healthy and accounted for, and they shut down the Suns big time in the second half and now take a 2-1 lead in that series. And probably my disappointment of the night, and it's Miami for sure, but a close second is Portland. Back home, that Moda Center crowd, and they just got buried defensively by this Denver team. Look, I didn't think that the Lillard-McCollum backcourt could be matched by Campazzo, Austin Rivers, and even Porter. And that's exactly what's happened. They've matched them bucket for bucket, and Denver's been a little bit more reliable defensively, getting key stops, and Portland last night certainly did not. The one win I had last night was the over. Fortunate to get there, but I'll take it. That's now 3-0 to the over, by the way, in that Blazers-Nuggets series. So Portland down 2-1, and now they're in a position where Game 4 on the weekend, they've got to find a way to get it done. They can't go down 3-1 heading back to Denver. We'll see if they have a bounce back in them. We'll start with Skee. Your thoughts, Skee, last night's games?
Lakers still. Defense wins championships, man. I'm just saying. Lakers should clamp down on anybody in the league. Anthony Davis, he's showing that he's ready to play every single game. LeBron, even though he's not 100%, he's doing his thing as well. Lakers much better when he's on the court than off. So even if he's injured, LeBron will take it. Also, last thing, Scott Foster. That's my dog.
Yeah. Purple and gold, baby.
Milwaukee and Miami. Heat are dead, man. They look like they kind of gave up. They don't even care no more. So I'm not putting no money on them next game. I'll just say that. Denver and Portland, they beat me up, but we'll see, man. Denver gonna shoot that good again. I'm gonna have to tip my cap.
I agree with that. A lot of that was just ridiculous shooting by the Denver Nuggets last night in that game, and something that I don't think you can bank on happening again in Game 4. What were they? 39 of 84. They were 20 of 38, 53% from three-point range. Are you kidding me? Those numbers ain't sustainable. I don't care. Portland's not a great defensive team, but still, those numbers just will not repeat themselves in Game 4. Dutch, what did you think of last night?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, Mark, that was a good one. He said, mosquitoes that bite me fall to the ground stone. This shit have me rolling. Everybody else in the chat, shout out. Turnsy, everybody. Thanks for joining us for sure. But yeah, man, I'm going to start on the late night cap because that's really what was on my mind all damn night and all damn day so far. until I went to the gym and hit the refresh button. I was way off on that Blazer game. I had Nurkic. I think if he doesn't hit them fouls and if he would have got more touches like I wanted, we're getting easily over 14.5. I believe he finished with 13, fouled out in the sixth. Fouled out was in the fourth, excuse me. But man, I can't lie to you. I went to bed and I had nightmares about motherfucking Austin Dookie ass Rivers, man. He took my money, man. That shit had me salty as fuck. That woke up in the morning. I can't lie to you. I got the Rip City tat right here. I wake up like this and I relive it all over again. It's like a smack in the face again, bro. So that's really what that game killed me a little bit. Killed my night because I was 3-1 going into that night. It was, my freshest look. So I ended up losing 3 units on that game. Not very happy. But overall, Middleton got us in the Bucks. Bucks did what they've been doing all series. And then, of course, when we look at LA, I probably reached a little bit with that 7. Ayton was eating, though, and we hit the Schroeder prop. So it was a beautiful game 1 and 2, realistically. I think if they get the ball inside a little more to Ayton, they could have probably got that 7. But at the same time, LeBron looked a lot better coming out of the locker room in that second half. So they look like they're on a mission. I mean, LA might be finding their rhythm. And, watch out because that plus 550 I got in my pocket for them. I put that in before. So, it's looking a little bit better. But, yeah, it wasn't the best night.
Oh, it was Rip City, all right, as in we got ripped. Dutch got ripped. I got ripped by the Portland Trailblazers. Ripped our bank accounts apart.
Yeah, I stay ripped, but I don't like that type of rip.
No, exactly. Don't rip my money away from me. That's the kind of rip I will not support. What do you think here, Conor Mac, last night in the 3 games?
Yeah, like you guys said, the Heat are done. We'll see. Is it so much? I mean, the Heat are just so bad. They look so horrible in Game 3. Is the Bucks play really that well? We'll see next series because that, and going forward. But they were just horrible. Lakers came out, played a lot better, especially in that third quarter. Schroeder played well. Anthony Davis played a hell of a game. And Chris Paul came out okay, and he was nowhere to be found in the second half. He's injured. If he's like this, they'll lose. They're going to lose. This could be 2 more losses here for the Suns, and it's over. Because he's got to be more of a leader, the guy with the ball in his hands, yada, yada, yada. And he's going to go score 7 points and 6 assists and no show in the second half. They're done. Suns are done there. And lastly, yeah, I like the Blazers to come out early. Got me first half. I had a -2. Nuggets came to play. Joker had a big game. Rivers, everyone played well. The starting lineup scored a ton. And the Blazers just kind of gave their Ole defense. They're a team that can't clamp down and play defense. So that's why it's tough. They might win that series, but I like Denver from the start to win it. I think it still goes 7. I think they win it on their home floor, but we'll see. But let's get to today's games. Fuck yesterday. Let's get to today.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how we all feel about yesterday. Yeah, enough of it. To hell with it. On to today. That's what we're feeling right now. And yeah, Denver might get Will Barton back in the series, and that's another defender for Lillard. So how about a missed opportunity for Portland last night too? Because it might get tougher for Lillard to get free if Will Barton comes back later in this series for Denver. Let's turn the page, though. It's Friday. Let's get to tonight's games. We have 3 of them. We'll start with the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. This is the series I'm most into right now here in this first round. Back and forth, 2 great games down to the wire. And now Game 3 as the scene shifts to the ATL for the first time in this series. We've got the Atlanta Hawks 4.5, 5-point home favorites in Game 3 tonight. The total 211, pretty much across the board here. The way I see it, I've got a distinct, specific strategy in mind for this game. When you look at the pattern of Game 1 and Game 2, we've seen something develop here. Atlanta has had the better of it early in these games. In Game 1 and in Game 2, they punched the Knicks in the mouth. And it took a while for the Knicks to respond. And I think that pattern, if anything, it could even be stronger that we see that kind of start to the game for the Hawks tonight. Off the loss, back home, 1-1 series, and now looking to feed off their home crowd for the first time in these playoffs. So I think we get another good start to the game for Atlanta. That has been the pattern in this series. I'm on them in the first quarter. You can get them at -1.5, or you could pay up and get -145 money line with Atlanta in the first quarter. I like my Atlanta in the first half, -2.5, -115 as well. However, I'm going to probably look at that point. If both of those win, those Hawks bets, first quarter, first half, I might pivot and look at New York at halftime or in the second half, because we've seen now the Knicks, even in game one, they lost, but they battled back to get in that game, third, fourth quarter. Game two, they erased that deficit at halftime and ended up coming back and winning the game. So we've seen a first half Hawks team and a second half Knicks team so far in this series. I think that could continue. It's Hawks early, Knicks late for me here in game three tonight. Noel is going to play. There was some talk that ankle was too tender for him to get back on the court tonight for the Knicks, but it looks like Nerlens Noel is good to go. Player props that I'm interested in this game. Derrick Rose has actually been one of the more reliable offensive guys for the Knicks, believe it or not. Randall, we're still waiting for 48 good minutes from him. It's been fits and starts for Barrett. Rose has been the guy for the Knicks so far. I think from a Hawks perspective, I'd target Bogdanovich over points. Trae Young's gone over 30-plus points, in both games in this series, 30-plus in 5 of his last 7 games. His point total is only 25.5. You would think he'll be good early in the game tonight. I like his point prop over 25.5. He got spit on the other night as if you didn't need to give this guy any more motivation. You spit on him the other night. He's going to be fired up to play well tonight. Now, credit to Tibbs. He put Reggie Bullock defensively on him in the second half. It made a difference. Now it's up to McMillan to say, get away from that Bullock matchup, get Trae Young free. And if he can do that, he's going to have a big night, I think. So I like Trae's prop over. Skee, we'll start with you for this one. Game 3, Knicks and Hawks.
Yeah, I agree. As far as looking at Trae Young, if I'm looking at somebody to play for Atlanta, it's going to be his points, or maybe even Bogdan. But I definitely like the look on Trae Young. For the side, I'm with you too. It makes me nervous just because the Knicks have been the best first half team all season, but it feels like the Hawks come out every single time and look good early, and the Knicks go in at halftime and make their adjustments, and it gives the Hawks trouble. So I want to get in before they make those adjustments. Like you mentioned, there's plenty of reasons why Trae Young should be fired up. And he said, see you in the A. I'm going to bank on him to come hot in the first half in the A.
Yeah, definitely. Makes a lot of – and you're right. Knicks were a great first – the first half bets for the Knicks this season were incredible. They were great in the first half till this series started. And I think now they're 0-2 in the first half in this series. So I like Atlanta early as well. Dutch, how are you seeing this one, Atlanta, New York?
Yeah, man. Goddamn. Y'all going to leave any meat on the bone for your boy? Hey, I like everything y'all said. Real quick, shout out to my guy, Joe Free. Hit the little motherfucking like button real quick. Take a moment. Do that for everybody in the chat, everybody watching. Take you 1 second to hit the like button. Muchly appreciated.
Yeah.
Billy,
JT
MMA.
Sports, too. JT Sports with a $5 dono.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
JT,
that,
yeah. He was the first one I was supposed to say, but they keep going and I keep smoking, so they be flowing. JT, my man, already.
Yeah. Take a hit of that beautiful flower for me, Dutch.
I took a real good hit of that for him. I did.
I saw you do it.
Thanks, JT. JT's down every show in the chat, so credit to him.
Yeah,
he shows
JT.
That's why I hit it extra hard for him. I hit it extra hard for my guy. But yeah, back to what we're talking. Yeah, I'm right with you, Ian. Like I think you might have seen my bet slip, bro. Because I got the first quarter, or either that, or I was looking at yours. Because I got first quarter -1.5. I don't like the I don't want to lay -145. I'm taking that -1.5. I've locked that in. I am on Trae Young over 25.5. He's averaging, I believe, 31 or 32.5 in the series. You said it 5 of the last 7. You said he's coming out with a chip. Pretty much what everything you and Skee said. I'm with. I'm also, let's see, what else am I looking at here? I also one other thing that you guys didn't mention was John Collins. He's averaged 18 points in the season and against this team in 3 meetings. And these 2 games, he's been garbage. He had 7 in game 1, and he actually had a fucking 0 in game 2 with 5 fouls. So I would look for.
Dutch, we've lost him for a sec. We'll get him back. That happened earlier today on one of my other shows too. Someone just froze like that. We'll get him back. Dutch will come back and join us. But basically, like Trae Young, Atlanta early in the game as well. Yeah, exactly. I'll see you in the ATL. Trae Young's told that guy that spit on him at the Garden the other night. That's too bad you have to hear stuff like that. Hey, Russell Westbrook, you got a problem with popcorn being thrown on you. Try someone spitting in your face. Who had it worse, Russ Westbrook or Trae Young? What's worse? Like I say, popcorn on the head or a loogie right in the face. I know what I'd rather have. I wouldn't want either one, but at least the popcorn, I'm like, I'll be mildly agitated. Someone's spitting in my face. I'm ready to throw punches, and I'm not much of a fighter, and I'm pretty weakling in terms of combat, physical confrontations. But I'll give it my damnedest against any son of a bitch that would do that to me. I'll tell you that right.
My fault, guys.
Connor,
For the chat.
yeah, I'll give it I don't know if I'd win the fight. I might get my ass kicked. I might get it handed to me, but you're going to get the 100% best out of Ian Cameron throwing blows if someone were to ever do that to me and spit in my grill.
You can't be spitting on people. That's a felony, man. You spit on someone that ain't no joke. My bad about that to the chat. Yeah, Turnsy, my guy Turnsy, I appreciate you. I do got the freshest look. I'm going to give that out at the end, though, my guy. But, yeah, so you know where we're at. John Collins, first quarter of the Hawks. You know where we're at. And Trae Young over 25.5 points. Close game I think it'll come down to a close game as well. But I think the 4.5, 5 is pretty sharp, to be honest with you. So I'm not on the side.
Yep. So that's what I'm thinking. Atlanta early. If I cash both of them, hop on the Knicks at halftime. That's my plan here with this game. The man with the plan. Hopefully the man with the plan works out for me here. Connor, what do you think? Atlanta, New York.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult one. The Knicks have been such a good first half team all year, but I don't blame you guys for taking the Hawks early here. I like the 4.5, man. If I get a 5, I will be on the Knicks for sure. I don't know if it gets there, but I definitely like 5 points with the Knicks. I think it's a close game. I think all these games are going to be pretty close. I like how New York played in the second half. Their defense really clamped down. And this could go over, but, man, the first 2 games, the first one was very close. I'm just going to stay off the total. I'd still lean a little bit under, but I'm going to stay away from that. I'm just going to go full game here with the Knicks. I love the 4.5. If I get a 5, I'd like it even better. And I didn't love too many props here. Maybe Randall gets going. Obviously, he's under his first couple points and rebounds. He finally got going in that second half. I like the D Rose a little bit. It's up to 18.5 now as points, but I still like his assists. I think at 5.5, he could get over. It's plus money. So those are the couple ones I was taking a glance at in the props here in this one.
All right, next game is Brooklyn and Boston, game 3. We've got the Nets 8-point favorites in Beantown here, total 227.5 tonight. I ain't getting hoodwinked into betting the 0-2 team down 0-2 going home for game 3 in this one like I did with Miami last night. I'm not even going there with the Boston Celtics. You got Kemba playing, but is he 100%? You got Jaylen Brown still out. You got Jason Tatum with the damaged eye. Let's not forget he's got eye damage going into this game, Jason Tatum as well. So there's issues galore for the Celtics. They cannot stop anything that Brooklyn does offensively. And it's not just Durant, Harden, and Irving. Let's give some credit to Shamet. Let's give some credit to Griffin and Joe Harris the other night, who was absolutely terrific shooting from long distance. They're getting their supporting cast going, and it's hard enough stopping the 3 of them when they're on their game. And then you get the supporting cast and the bench chipping in too. Good luck against the Nets when that happens. You're seeing that right now. I want no part of Boston here. I think this could be a 1-2-3 Cancun situation, very much like Miami-Milwaukee is headed. I think this series could be going in that direction. I ain't touching that Boston first half, first quarter. I know the long-term trend and the long-term angle says that, right? The team down 2-0 in game 3, especially at home, but didn't work with Miami last night because it's a mismatch, and I don't think it's going to work here because I just think it's a mismatch here with the Nets and the Celtics. I'm not laying it with Brooklyn either. I'm passing on the side. I am going to take the Brooklyn team total over because I just don't think Boston can stop them. I like that team total look, and I'm also going to have a smaller on the full game over 227.5 as well, because the one thing the Celtics can do and often do is shoot better at home. They are a good offensive team here in the Garden, very good offensive numbers for the season on this home court. So I think they will score more, but they're not stopping Brooklyn at all in my mind. So I like the team total Nets over, and I like the full game over as well. Skee, what do you think here? Brooklyn, Boston, game 3.
Yeah, I was on the first half full game over last time they matched up. And I mean, we heard Brad Stevens say before that the only chance they have is putting the ball in the basket because they're not going to stop them defensively. And so that puts me towards an over once again. It makes me nervous on the full game just because, like, if the Nets really are blowing them out, maybe we see reserves later on in the game in the fourth quarter, and I don't really want parts of that. But I do lean towards over, probably first half more. For the full game or for the side, I'm with you, Ian. They're outmatched. So, I mean, you can see them looking just like Miami, giving zero effort at halftime. And outside of that first game when the Nets were rusty, Celtics haven't been good in first halves. I look at the last three margin, minus 6.3, plus 9.6 for the Nets. I would have to look for them early. I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to get tricked into betting that O2 team down coming back home because the Celtics just aren't good enough.
Yeah, and they've been a bet against team for me most of the season. Why switch gears now? And that's exactly why I won't be on Boston. I'm not on the side at all because I don't want to lay 8, but that would if I had to, I would prefer Brooklyn -8 than Boston plus the points. You want a situational player prop for this game too? It makes sense to me. Kyrie Irving over points tonight for the Nets. He's in Boston. It didn't end well last year for him with the Celtics. He was on the outs with the team. The fans excoriated him after the season. They gave him hell. They gave him shit for the way it ended. I'm sure they're going to be very vicious toward him whenever he has the ball tonight in this game for the Nets. I think he's if he's any sort of competitor, he's going to want to absolutely shut up that Celtics crowd tonight and have a big game, show out. I think he might. So, and look, I don't think Boston's got the defense to stop him or anybody on this Nets team. So I like Irving over points. Situational element. He's going into Boston. They gave him a tough time when he left in the offseason and signed in Brooklyn. I think he goes off potentially tonight. Dutch, how do you see this one?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Big Zoe. And actually, T Hops too in the chat. That was his, I believe, play of the day in Jimmy's chat this morning is Kyrie over 24.5. The only thing I don't like about that, and I do like that look, don't get me wrong, but I'm just a little tempted on the blowout situation because just to keep it short and sweet, I'm locked in. I got the Nets first half -3 and full game -7. It did jump. I locked this in last night. I love both of them numbers. I expect them to win by double digits, but I hear what you guys are saying. But I think it's at 3.5 now at most books. I'm all over that. Nets should handle business, real easy. I like KD. I like everything about the Nets from an offensive perspective against this team. But I have a feeling that, they could be sitting in the third. It could come back to bite me. So I'm not going to put my money on that, to be honest with you. Locking in 3 and -7. I do endorse the 8. 8.5, I don't like that hook. But shop around, see what y'all could do. But the Nets can handle business tonight. Believe that.
Yes, and that's always the peril of these damn player props is the blowout situations in the fourth quarter. We saw it with Durant for poor Dutch the other night with Durant. I mean, he's going to easily go over that point total if he's not sitting in the fourth quarter. But in a 24-point game, he's not going to play in the fourth quarter. Yeah, Simple as that. So
this close to the Middleton prop last night not hitting. He got 22, perfect. I actually had at 19.5. I put it out 20.5 because that was all that was out by the time we did the show. But literally, he was getting subbed in. He went down and hit the shot for me and gets subbed out. Doesn't play for the rest of the fourth quarter. So I was feeling pretty good, like it was gonna be a great night. And then of course the motherfucking Blazing shit happened.
Yeah, you know what? Believe it or not, we should have a better feel for player props and more confidence behind them once we get into the second round, conference finals, NBA finals, because they're going to be more competitive games, tougher competition. So you get less blowouts as you get later into the playoffs. So that's good for player prop bettors for sure, over player prop bettors. What do you think here, Connor, with Brooklyn, Boston?
I agree with you, Dutch. I like the Nets first half at the 3.5. I wouldn't go full game, even though I think they do cover this number. That whole 8.5 with the Nets, even against a shitty team as bad as Boston's been playing, it's a little touchy. And I don't want to touch the total. I think it goes over, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to stick to the first half, -3.5. And I don't love too many props because of maybe the blowout factor. If I were to go to any, I know Irving coming back. He needs to get at 25. I look at Harden maybe in some of his is only 22.5. I think he's the best guy with the ball in his hand. I mean, other than Durant, I just, because Irving's just a kick it guy, shooting guard these days. So I look to maybe some Harden props, but I'm going to stay off the props in this one.
Yeah, can I kick it? Yes, he can. There you go, Kyrie Irving. Hopefully he has a big night. We'll have to wait and see. All right, final game. Here we go. Referendum time on the LA Clippers. 2-game anomaly, capable bounce back team, or is that a sign of things to come and a harbinger of things to come that this series and this season is slipping away quickly from the LA Clippers? I guess we'll find out tonight. They are slight road favorites in Dallas for Game 3 against the Mavericks. The total right now in that just shy of 220 in that 219 range, pretty much across the board here. I ain't laying points on the road with the Clippers. I'm not doing it. I'm not convinced this is just situational betting 101 here, and we just bet the Clippers and think everything's going to be hunky-dory tonight, and they're just going to turn this thing around and win game 3. I don't think it's that simple. I think there's legitimate flaws and issues on this team. Kawhi's not playing the level of defense he has in the past. He's still giving you the offense, but I don't think his defense has been all that good. He's even missed some free throws. Paul George, you can't count on him one game to the next in the postseason. You look at this bench, it's nothing to write home. What's Ibaka done lately? Talk about a disappointment. Serge Ibaka for the Clippers. And hell, he's been so poor that he's not even getting the minutes that he normally does, for this Clippers team. I mean, they've got issues right now galore. They don't have the bench anymore. I think they miss a little bit of that offense that Lou Williams provides. The defense has been – I'm sick of hearing about how this team is an elite defensive team. It's what I've heard all year. I heard it in game 1 and in game 2. This is an elite defensive team. Yeah, maybe at times last year they were regular season. Early in the playoffs last year, maybe they were. They weren't in the Denver series last year where they got whipped. They haven't been a good defensive team so far in this series. I think we need to stop calling them an elite defensive basketball team. They're not right now. Clearly, they're not. The eye test clearly shows that this is not a team contesting shots. Their rotations are screwed up. They're late contesting. There's wide open paths to the lane, wide open shooters along the 3-point line on the perimeter. There's problems right now for this Clippers team. And I don't know if Ty Lue's the kind of coach I'm going to trust here to rally the troops and get things figured out. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not saying I'm rushing to bet Dallas here tonight in this spot with the Clippers' backs against the wall, but I'd still prefer their side. I really would, not laying the points with the Clippers on the road. So that's where I stand on this game. I don't have a strong opinion either way. You'd think maybe they're going to clamp down defensively after just that game was, and I was on the over last game, but man, that was one of the most efficient, high-scoring playoff games that I've seen in some time. That game was just pinball basketball, one made shot after another, pretty much on both sides. You'd think it'll slow down a little bit tonight, but the Clippers have also played a little small ball in this series, and that's not good for pace if you think it's going to be slower. So I'm a little reluctant to just jump on the under. From a side perspective, it would be Dallas or nothing. I am not laying points on the road with the Clippers. Do you agree with me, Skee? Where do you stand here, Clippers and Mavs?
Oh, come on. You know damn well I agree, Ian.
I know. I just had to throw it out there.
I'll talk about the total really quick. I look at this team, or both of these teams, a lot of times when they play, but they both shoot good field goal percentages, and a lot of times it still stays under. So I don't know. I think maybe this time he'll get back to being an under game. If the Clippers do anything, they have to play better defense to be in the game. I don't know that they can do anything, but I'm just saying that's how they have to come out and think about it. So I lean that way. For the side, I agree completely. Luka's out there bullying them in every which way. So until they show me they can stop Luka, I'm not putting a cent on the Clippers. We already saw Kawhi have 41. I don't really trust Paul George, but even when he has, what do you have, 28 points? They still can't win.
Yeah.
When they win on the boards, they don't win. When they don't turn the ball over, they don't win. Ty Lue doesn't know who to put in the game. He can't even get the rotations correct. And even when they score more points in the paint, they can't win. So how are the Clippers going to win? I just don't see it.
It's hard to argue with any of that. And I have no faith. I have no confidence in them right now, especially now that they're favored. Remember, Dallas opened 1.5-point home favorites. There's been a flip of favorites. It's been a steady stream, a flow of money to the Clippers, thinking bounce back spot, 2-0, desperation spot, sense of urgency. They bounce back, they win here. I don't think it's that easy. I think they're screwed up right now. They were screwed up in the first 2 games of this series. They were screwed up against Denver when that was a flame out. All right? Don't cut this team any slack. That was a flame out last year against Denver. That was embarrassing. They urinated on themselves, essentially, on the basketball court, right in front of everybody's eyes against the Denver Nuggets. That's what that was. All right. It was an absolute piss poor, legitimately. I meant to throw that word in there for a reason. Piss poor against the Denver Nuggets. That's a mental thing. That's a chemistry thing. I think there's a lack of chemistry here. I don't think there's harmony with this team. I don't see camaraderie. I don't see guys rallying together and say, let's go, let's get it together here. They're screwed up right now. They're not playing well on the court. I don't think things are right off it either. There's no way I'm on the Clippers tonight. Are you, Dutch? Or do you agree with all of this or what?
Yeah, I pretty much echo what you're saying. I'll touch a little bit on what Skee said. And also Bill McDonald, I think he said points in an MMA locker room in the chat. He's on the overs. That's Tim Hardaway. He's been getting his over threes, I think, 2.5, he said. So I'm not mad at either one of those props. He's definitely been getting his in each game and towards the end of the season and in the series, in the meetings in the season. So I'm not mad at Tim Hardaway, but yeah, I'll touch a little bit on what Skee said about the game 2. I mean, Kawhi, like he said, had plus 40. I mean, you got 28 from PG. I mean, we got 15 off the bench from Reggie Jackson. They shot better than 50% from the field, and they still lose, and out rebounded them. Everything that Skee said is just spot on. So I just don't know how you go to the window and bet the Clippers. I do believe it is a Clippers spot, but if I could get 3, I might have to press the button on Dallas. I haven't locked that in. I have locked in over Luka though. Luka the motherfucking Don. He continues to eat. Like Skee says, he's a bully out there. He's the man with the most confidence, got the most swag, and he's probably got the biggest chip on his shoulder. It's a beautiful thing when it comes to Luka. I expect him to eat. And this prop that I was looking at, I really like is over 3.5 threes. You could actually get at plus 140 at some spots. He's shot 24 threes in 2 games, and he's went over the number in both games. So I expect both of those props to hit, but at plus 140, take a little shot at that as well, over 3.5 threes. And then, that's pretty much what I would look at from that aspect. I'm not mad at Kawhi because Kawhi is getting his. I already went over it a little bit. He did have 26 in game 1. He obviously had 40 plus in game 2, but he has went over in the 6-game series last year. He averaged 32 plus against them. So it is a little high, 4 points higher than what it was, maybe 2.5 in game 2. But I bet you, I will believe that he'll get plus 30. I might go to the window with that as well. But yeah, I can't put my money on the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, and the bench is a problem. I mean, Reggie Jackson, Rondo has been okay, but not great. Batum, and then there's nothing else from anybody else on that Clipper bench. That's the problem. They're not that depth team that they've been in the past. There's no question. And by the way, I'm sick of them trotting out there at the starting center spot every night at Ivica Zubac. This guy is one of the worst centers in the league as far as I'm concerned. He gives you nothing offensively. He should be grabbing more than 6 rebounds a game, too, for a guy that size down there. What do you give you, 2.6 rebounds? Are you kidding me? From that 5 spot with Zubac the other night? Not good enough from that position. Not even close. What do you think here, Connor? Clips and Mavs.
Yeah, this would be a wait and see. I would not put my money, like you guys talked about, on the Clippers here. It's Mavericks or pass. I lean under here again, too. The Mavs shot really well, not only in game 1, but in game 2. I think of the more slow pace that they played on the regular season. And I don't know if the Mavs shoot it that well. That's why I think this game is close. But you're telling me that this team that, like I said, doesn't give a shit really. They're looking around at each other, lay -3 on the road. And they could win tonight and cover, but it's not getting my money. That's for sure.
Is it really up to 3 now? Wow, I thought it was
It's
2.5. Holy mackerel, it's still going up.
3.5.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I mean,
I might have to take it.
I'm betting Dallas at some point before tip-off. If this keeps going like this, this is getting out of control. Now maybe they do go out and blitz Dallas, but I can't see it. I don't see it happening. It's just a love affair with a team that I think is posing as a porcelain doll right now, and they're about to shatter at this point in time. The LA Clippers. That's the way I see it with them.
They got to bring it tonight, though. I mean, if they're 3, it's. I mean, so let's see though. Let's see if Kawhi and PG can actually do it.
No doubt. That's the question. Will they bring it?
He wants them to lose. He loves it up there. He's just like,
he's just laughing. He's like, yeah. It's like that evil laugh. We need that evil laugh clip. There's the Clippers' potential demise here, and maybe another embarrassing exit too, if it continues down this path. But good stuff, Skee, Dutch, and Connor. We will get to best bets in just a second. Before we do those, we do each and every part of the time at this time of the show. We're going to pause for some messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Roll it. right, there you go. Southtown 101, Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports. And by the way, Southtown 101 DJs, live music, karaoke, all of that stuff. That's stuff that Ian Cameron wants in a bar and a restaurant when he goes there. So along with great food and drinks. So Southtown 101, check them out in San Antonio. Manscaped, all you guys out there, take care of yourself with the male grooming products at Manscaped, 20% off using promo code Pub Sports. And mybookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. Check them out as well. Obviously, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, MLB daily, lots to go around. Deposit, you could use Bitcoin for that. MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. All right, guys, let's get after it. Best bet time. It is Bounce Back Friday. We're feeling good, though. We're ready to deliver. Let's get it done. We'll start with you, Skee Profit. What do you like here for your best bet tonight?
I'm going to do a series, but it's not none of these ones right here. I said last time if Portland loses, I'm going to take them at plus money. I took them at plus 160. So that's my best bet for today. I still think that they come out in the next game and win. And I think they eventually win the series.
All right. Excellent. Good stuff there, Skee. Best bet for Skee Profit. Dutch, we'll go to you next. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, real quick. I don't know who said it in the chat, but I don't reckon no NBA teasers. That's not a thing. We don't do that. But yeah, I will have to keep it short and sweet. The Nets, -3, 4, whatever you get out there, let's lock it up. They're going to handle business early and often.
All right, there we go. Nets to take care of business. -3 first half against the Celtics. Best bet for Dutch. Conor Mac, C-Mac, what do you got for best bet?
Was a 3.5 just out there, and it went. I might be the only one. I just see a 5 at FanDuel. I was just waiting for a 5. I like the 4.5, but I've taken the Knicks. I don't know if they win, but I think this game is really close. So I think it's too many points. There's a pick 'em in New York. Now all of a sudden the Hawks are this favored this much. I think it's too close, and it's your defense kind of the reason why I think can keep them in the game. So give me the +5, 4.5s everywhere. You might want to wait. Like I just saw the 5 on FanDuel, but 4.5, take it. Best bet.
All right. +4.5, +5 New York against Atlanta. Best bet for Conor Mac. I can't say I'm going directly head-to-head with Conor Mac with my best bet, but somewhat. I'm on Atlanta, but I'm on them in the first half, -2.5 against New York. I like them early in the game. I think this is a statement early for Atlanta. Come out strong, Trae Young in particular, and I like the point prop for him over as well. But give me Atlanta -2.5 first half against the New York Knicks. That'll be my best bet for this Friday NBA playoff board. That'll wrap it up. That's it for the weekday shows, but we don't sleep on weekends. The money doesn't sleep on weekends. We are going to be back with you Saturday and Sunday, 1:00 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, to get you ready for the NBA playoffs throughout the weekend with the NBA Pub Hub show. So make sure you don't miss it. For Conor Mac, for Dutch, for Skee Profit, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great night. And Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. You know what it is. Pub Sports Radio. Be sure to like and subscribe, because all we're going to do is hit them straight over the motherfucking head. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We be pubbing.